Push the button up.
It's too complex for me. Good morning. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Cheyenne, occupational therapist here at Scotia. We work with Trinity Rehab, who is your therapy company, and we serve you here at Scotia Village. I am Cheyenne Occupational Therapy. This is Miss Diane. She is a certified occupational therapy assistant. Most of the time she works down in Skilled. So if you're ever in Skilled, you'll 100% see her, but she's out and about also. This is Miss Cameron Bell. She's an occupational therapy student getting her doctorate degree at Methodist University, right? Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and get started. Our presentation this morning is called Lighten Your Load, Energy Saving Tips to Stay Independent. And that's what we all want to do, yes? All right, so first off, what is energy conservation? Energy conservation is techniques that help you do daily tasks easier. It helps you to be able to prevent fatigue or decrease in fatigue. It supports your independence and being more comfortable in doing activities. Oftentimes, people who have arthritis, heart, or lung conditions, they very much so need to use these techniques, but it's also for everyone. It's very, very important for our aging community so that you can age in place, which means stay independent and stay in your homes and be safe there. So statistics say over 40% of older adults experience chronic fatigue. So energy conservation is not optional, it is essential. So why does it matter? So like I said, it supports your ability to live independently. You can do more things with less effort. So you're being more efficient. It reduces your risk of falls due to fatigue. So when you get really tired and you feel like you can't support yourself, and down you go. So energy conservation helps to prevent that. It helps you stay active and maintain your ability to enjoy daily activities, things that you have to do for yourself, things that you just enjoy doing, everything that makes you you. And it improves your quality of life overall. So here's some research on it, on why it matters so much. Fatigue is an early warning sign of frailty, which affects 7 to 16% of adults 50 and older, slowing down your independence. So feeling fatigued and drained, it leads to reduced physical function and cognitive decline, thus increasing hospitalization and increasing the risk of mortality. And as your therapist, we don't want you to have to go through this. We want you to stay lively and be doing well and stay out of the hospitals. So older adults are at a higher risk of falls, often worsened by energy depletion. And nearly 1 in 3 adults 65 and up fall each year, causing significant injuries. Conserving energy through safe movement can help reduce those falls. Okay, and now I'm going to let Diane speak.
Yes. Hey, everybody. We're going to go over the 4 P's, which is 4 things that you're going to do to help you conserve energy. So prioritize, plan, pace, position. So prioritize, you're going to focus on what matters to you. Plan, spread out your activities through the day or week. Pace, slow down, rest before you're tired, and position, use good body mechanics, and sit when you can. Prioritize. Do the most important task when you have the most energy. And that's going to be different for all of us. A lot of times we have the most energy in the morning after we get up, but if you're not a morning person, that might come later during the day. Let go of tasks that aren't essential or ask for help. Example, showering in the morning, social activities in the afternoon. So if you have more energy at night or in the mid-afternoon, shower in the mid-afternoon, okay? Plan ahead. Combine your errands. Set up supplies ahead of time. Schedule rest breaks into your day. Avoid back-to-back tasks. Pace yourself. Don't rush. Break big tasks into smaller steps. Rest before you feel exhausted. And what I'll say to that, if you're someone that lives a long way from the cafe and you're going to the cafe, then stop at those chairs along the way, leave a little early, and stop and take a rest break. So when you get to the cafe, you're not exhausted, and you can enjoy your meal and be more social. Use a timer or reminder to pause or take rest breaks. Positioning. Use proper body mechanics when completing tasks. Avoid bending or stretching when possible, because some of you might know if you have to bend over, that takes a lot of energy for some of us, okay? Keep frequently used items within easy reach. Sit to do tasks like brushing teeth, bathing, laundry. Use assistive devices like reachers or shower chairs, okay? Is that her? I want to say one more thing. If y'all do find yourself getting short of breath, and you can always come to therapy and we can see if we can strengthen you. But if you have one of the conditions like COPD, CHF, those chronic conditions that makes it difficult for you to increase your endurance, then we can definitely teach you these things, okay? Energy conservation, all right?
So some helpful tools and equipment that you can be provided is reachers to help you grab things up off the floor, long-handled sponges, long-handled shoe horns, shower chairs and grab bars to ensure your safety while in the shower, electric can openers, lightweight cookware and utensils, and rolling carts for carrying items so that you aren't carrying multiple items at one time, and then DME for walking, such as walkers, canes, or rollators. So what can OT bring to energy conservation? Occupational therapy brings client-centered goal setting and plan of care is just tailored specifically just for you. A fact that we found during research was after 2 weeks of OT-led training, older adults reported that they felt less tired during their daily activities, with same performance time. So occupational therapy can help make your task easier, provide you with adaptive equipment, environmental and home modifications specifically in your own environment, and task sequencing. And all of this brings meaning to your daily life.
Okay, so I know we've ran through this pretty quickly, right, because we're like right at the end of it. But also, I do want to reiterate just how important this is. Every day, and I say, and even like during this presentation and pacing ourselves because we're so excited and also nervous. We want to get through things. That's how it is in our daily life, right? We're used to rushing. We're used to knowing, okay, well, we have to do this, and this today. Slow down, okay? Does it have to be done today? Can something else be done tomorrow? Can somebody else do it? Is there a certain time when it needs to be done? Or if you have to go, you got to go to the front offices down here and talk to Myra about something, but then you want to get lunch, but then you got to go back down here and talk to Alan, and you might need to go see Kathy. Okay, well, how can we schedule this to where within a scope of time where you're not having to run back and forth across the building 50 times, right? So in the strategies like Diane's explaining, planning ahead and prioritizing and, positioning, so being able to take rest, all of those things is going to help you to be more efficient in your life. Okay, so I've given y'all some examples, maybe. So y'all can, whoever wants to volunteer, identify one daily task, something in your life that makes you feel tired, and what energy saving strategy do you think you could use to help? Anybody?
Walking all the way down, they can hear me. They can hear me.
You're not shy, Ellen.
I was just gonna say, walking down to the OT. Yeah. It's tiring. When I get there, I rest.
Yes.
And then I get up and do what you tell me to. I'm very obedient down there. It's hard to believe, but I really do behave myself.
So what could you do in between so you're not so tired when you get there?
I rest
Where do you rest at?
anywhere I can.
Okay.
Good answer. I was coming up here to help you out with that.
No.
You talk, you sit on the way there before you get there.
Yeah, I mean,
So you do.
I do. I gather my wits and think about what she's going to ask me to do and all that kind of good stuff, and then I walk on down. But I've gotten to the place where I don't have to rest anymore.
I used to have a hard time getting to the cafe. So this is a big jump for me. Okay.
So nobody else in here gets tired except for Miss Eleanor.
I say we make every one of
I
them.
just have a suggestion for Scotia to put in moving hallways. Like they
Yeah, okay, that's a fall waiting to happen, but okay.
go on and go. I
I don't know if I agree.
That would save a lot of energy.
Me either.
It would save a lot of energy, but it would make a lot of lazy folks.
Did you hear that? Amanda said it would make a lot of lazy folks because you wouldn't have to use those legs.
You could use your energy for what you wanted instead of spend all the energy to get there.
Gotcha. So nobody else gets tired. What do you get tired with?
My morning routine, getting up, shower,
Okay,
dress, eating breakfast,
okay.
getting out of bed,
S-
ready for the day.
Do you feel like when you get up and you start that routine that you can't stop until you get it all finished? Because that's what you've done for 40 years? Okay, all right. So do you have any ideas of what you could do to maybe not be so tired when you get finished with all of that? Okay.
It is really hard, but
There you go.
I have learned to not make that bed right away. My bed is not made right now at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Guess what? Mine's not either.
And it was walking out of the house this morning, I thought, oh my gosh, let me rush to make my bed. And I made myself not do it. And it's really hard because especially that's something we practiced our whole married lives and for our kids and
You had to
it's
do
hard to do it.
You had to do it.
I like to make the bed first.
Okay.
And as soon as I get up, then I've accomplished something for the
Oh,
day.
So that falls under what's important to you.
Uh-huh.
So you have to figure that out, You have to figure that out. But I would suggest, and we could help you with that, how to break up that morning routine. I don't know exactly how you do it and what time frame, but we could definitely help you figure that out and conserve your energy. Okay?
Sometimes I run out of time and I'm in bed maybe like 5.
Okay.
That's right. I think one important thing to remember is as we age,
the things that are important to us kind of change. So we have to change with that. We have to decide, hey, what is this really as important as it was 20 years ago? Do I need to do it right now, or can it wait a little bit? Just like these ladies said, you prioritize what is the most important. So if making your bed is most important and you feel accomplished, then make your bed. If you don't feel accomplished until you had a shower, then get up and have the shower, and then everything else just waits. And Miss Eleanor made a comment about not stopping while you're naked after you've showered. Well, you know what? You're the only one in your house, so if you have to sit down naked, then you sit down naked and take a break. So.
You got it, at least dry off. Wrap it down right.
Do you have the second mic? Let's see, we had a lot of hands. Who? Here, say it to the mic.
Taking a shower first thing in the morning helps with my aches and pains that I get up with in the morning. When I take a shower in the morning, it helps with all the aches and pains that I wake up with.
Yes.
Right, so that should be your first thing. If that's what revitalizes you and gives you energy, then that's your first thing.
I have a question that really isn't so much about tiredness, but it's something that has been coming to mind lately. Taking a shower is becoming a little more difficult than it once was, and I want to buy some sort of chair for the shower. Now, how can you help me with that? I could go online and I can see pictures of them, but I don't know what works and what doesn't. Can PT help me find?
OT can help you find.
So this is 100% in OT's world. So Cameron, if you'll go back to where it says the slide about the helpful, that one. So this picture here, it has the chair that has a back on it and hand rests. But you're right, there's a lot of different seating options out there. So one thing about these devices is usually they're adjustable, thank you, so that the legs here go up and down, so they adjust for the appropriate height. A lot of the times they're also, if you see one that has like a back on it, you can usually flip it from one side to the other if it needs to be flipped. The armrests are handy whenever you have trouble, like say you need a little extra support when you're sitting and standing, so that way you have something to hold on to. Some people feel more stable, and it is more stable whenever you have the armrest. And there's a lot of different types of the shower chairs. They have just a shower stool, and it's just a round stool. There's the built-in benches. A lot of the independent homes have the built-in benches in your showers, and I hear a lot of people complain, oh, well, that's way back here, or that feels too small. So there is a lot of different things on the internet. You can even go to like Goodwill, Habitat for Humanity, and find them a lot cheaper. If you are in your home and you say, I have no earthly idea, this just don't make no sense to me, I need a second opinion, you can always call us and we can come out and just do an assessment, make sure that you have the right equipment, help you get it set up, and make sure that you feel safe and are able to use it.
And one thing I think that we would do with the shower chair is we would measure your shower and then measure the chair,
Right,
okay?
right.
And make sure that it's going to give you plenty of room but enough support. Right.
Yeah, everybody's showers are different.
I seem to be tired a lot. I can take a nap. I mean, I can fall asleep in a heartbeat. I mean, as far as, but I try to keep active, but still, I mean, I'm just tired, yeah.
Okay, so one thing that's important to look at, just if you just feel tired all of the time, we need to first make sure that it's not an underlying medical condition that's causing that. If so, that might be something we need to address first. Yes, or medications. It could be something in medications. Could be something just in a general routine. So like if you don't sleep well at night, if we need to adjust your sleeping schedule, daily routine.
We'd be doing a lot of investigating to begin with, trying
Hand
to
it
figure
out.
out what is causing you to be so tired. But it would be a lot of, looking at a lot of different aspects in the beginning. And then when we figure it out, then that's something that we can address.
So that's one thing that's special too here at Scotia is that we are here for you. So when there is particular things that you want to work on, and we can come out and we can do this full assessment, spend an hour, so forth, just digging into your life and all the things that is you, so we can try and figure out something that's going to help you be more independent.
And I'll say, a lot of that depends on your daily routine as well. So if you're tired and you're not really doing much, then we really need to look at that. Like they said, even just having OT come in and look at a few sessions with OT, you hopefully are going to feel better once we start digging in and trying to figure out what it is. But some of it could just be lack of moving as much as you should. There's so many things it could be. But when you start recognizing those things, that's the time to go ahead and reach out and say, hey, this is what's going on, or I'm not sure what's going on, but this is what I think. Could you give me some advice? Mm-hmm. So don't hesitate to reach out and say, hey, this is what we are going through, even your spouse. It doesn't have to be you particularly, but my spouse, I'm noticing this. He's not moving as much as he used to be, or, this is going on, that's going on. So just reach out and at least let us know, and we can try to talk you through that. And if it's something minor, it might not even need a full, evaluation. It could just be a question that you have, and that's fine. You guys call us. Hopefully you all have the magnets that we gave out. It's been a little while ago, but I think all of you were here when we did that. But we had a magnet that we handed out and put in cubbies with our number on it that you can call. Or you can just call the front desk, the main number, and tell her to send you to therapy, and she'll send you to us. So you don't have to. Or you can always walk down there. It's a long way for most of you guys, but that's okay. It gives you exercise. So you can always walk down there and talk to us.
They need chairs along that hallway.
Yeah, I agree. We do need
We
more
do.
chairs.
We probably
down
could
there.
put a few more chairs, maybe a bench like they built out here outside the beauty shop.
Yeah.
A place or two would be helpful. We are down a long hallway.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question. I would like to say that recently I have bought a little rollator. It means everything to me. You don't know how much it stabilizes me as I walk. I have a little problem with balance, but it saves energy too. I can walk faster and in a more stable way with that tiny little thing. A cane does nothing for me, but that little rollator means everything. I would recommend it for anybody who might need one.
That's awesome. I'm glad you said that, because that's good for people.
I did not.
We did not prompt her, actually. That was all her, but that's great. I think that's good to take note of, and for some of the other ones around, so that you hear.
I'm going to second the motion about the rollator. I am a new user of rollators. I am a firm believer. And let me tell you, one of the first things you should do if you get a rollator is you should take it down to PT, and Amanda will immediately stand up and say, as she did to me, "That's not tall enough." So we sent the rollator that we got back, and we got a taller one, and it's working much better.
Very good, very good.
You left out the part about pulling your back muscle wrestling the old one in and out of the car to take it back to UPS.
Well, you know, those things happen.
But yes, he's right, and so is she. That's another good way. We didn't talk a lot about that, but that is another good way. Sometimes, if you don't, we want to be so independent, and a lot of people, especially with walking, we'll have people that use a rollator, but they say, I want to walk. Well, you are walking. Just because you have a walker doesn't mean you're not walking, but a lot of people in their mind, if you're using a rollator, you're not walking. Well, you're still walking just like you were. You just have a little more support. And sometimes we need that. Just like she said, she got more stability. She was able to pick up a little speed when she got that rollator. So sometimes those rollators work to make us more energy efficient as well. But what you'll notice is when it comes time to start doing that, you slow down. And you have no idea how much energy it takes to walk that slow. Your muscles, and especially if you start to have some strength issues in those legs and you're not really walking like you're supposed to, your body works overtime for you to be walking like that. So something as small as putting a cane in your hand or a rollator or a walker, even if you need a regular walker, could make a world of difference in that.
I just want to say too, if you notice that when your gait, the way that you walk starts to change, you can, without thinking about it, start to overcompensate and create a world of other problems. Mm-hmm. So sooner rather than later, getting assessment if you notice anything, any change about you, because the longer you wait, the more issues that may arise.
I do want to say too, having Sarah here is awesome. I know a lot of the times people are very hesitant to come down and go through the whole process of going through therapy and getting set up for an evaluation and going through treatment and so forth. I know a lot of the times that can be something that makes you not want to pursue therapy. But having Sarah here, she's here most of the time, right? I'd say. Every day, she said. And she's down on this end, so she's closer to y'all, where y'all are most of the time. She's got all these classes, and like they say, you know, just muscle weakness in general can add to decreased energy and all of the things that I said. So decreased energy, increasing fall risk and hospitalizations, and even maybe having to come, you know, change the level of care. You know, we don't necessarily want to have to do that. But use your resources, right? Attend the classes that Sarah has for you. She's educated. She knows what she's doing. And she'll watch you and see, like, okay, we need to modify this. Maybe you need to go see therapy, you know? So, yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody else got anything that takes a lot of energy from them? We've heard some good ones, but I bet there's more. Sarah's classes. Well, keep doing those. That's going to help you.
I'm actually going to shout out here to. We had a little an 8-week strength study. I had a handful of residents who did it. And she's not in here, but Ann Steinbrink, increased her leg press by 50 pounds in 8 weeks.
Wow.
And then her and Ms. Mirta both increased their upper body strength for the chest press and the upper back pull by 20 pounds in 8 weeks. So if absolutely,
awesome. I was about to
that's just dedicating 3 times a week with specific exercises and I gave the plan. They did it. They were consistent with it. I saw them in there those 3 times a week, and they got stronger and they felt better. So it's not that you have to be in there every day. You can still do your walking and do your thing. That's great, but it's not going to do anything for the strength in your legs. Walking does not gain the strength that you need in your legs. There was a 2015 study that said that your mortality rate is directly related to your legs, but you have a 60 to 80% greater chance of mortality with weak legs in your old age. That is a huge number. the stronger your legs, the more independent you'll be, the daily tasks you'll be able to do easier. So you have to strength train your legs, and I'd be happy to talk to you more about that too.
I just want to add, not just your legs, your whole body.
Specifically legs,
Yes.
And guys, I'm gonna say this, I have somebody out and independent I'm getting in the pool with now, and it's really been kind of nice to see that. The pool is a great option. So if you are just completely like, I cannot do it on land, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, try the pool. I mean, it really is a good workout.
You don't have to have a bathing suit, shorts and a t-shirt, just fine.
Right. You get in there with what you got on. We'll be fine with that. It don't hurt our feelings at all.
Okay. Yes.
All hearts and minds clear.
So what she's asking me about, we have down in skilled nursing a program. It's called a restorative nursing program. So typically when we have someone in skilled nursing who we discharge from therapy services, we'll keep them on an exercise program for a few weeks just so that they can still maintain that strength that we've built up. So the equivalent to that for you guys would be to continue on in your exercises. So we may give you a home exercise program at discharge. And another thing too is, I know I've recommended a few of Sarah's classes just to attend the classes, because like I said, Sarah's got a lot of classes, a lot of options, a lot of variability for everybody. There's something for everybody.
And we typically will always recommend a class after therapy of some sort. It's up to you guys to follow through with that. We can't make you go, but we will typically always try to recommend a class. And, sometimes we even get, especially if you have told us during your sessions of your interest in those classes, sometimes we even try to get you to start doing that before we discharge from therapy, just to kind of get your input on what you think about it. Do we need to do a different class? Was that too hard or too easy, or whatever the case may be? But we're typically always going to try to recommend that, unless you give us pushback or unless you just say, I'm not going to do it. And then we're going to have a few other words to talk about.
So, just to reiterate kind of what we've been going over. So, OT is here to empower you. We want you to stay active and stay healthy and stay involved in your daily routines. We want you to be safe. We want you to be able to live where you are. So, aging in place. We don't want you to have to move. We don't want you to feel like you have to depend on other people to help you. We want you to feel independent, feel safe, feel healthy. And we want to help to prevent falls as much as possible. We want to keep you strong and just help you in having safer movements, including adapting your environment as needed. So like she mentioned, the shower chairs. I know I've made recommendations for grab bars and just different equipment in your homes. They do a pretty good job when they built this place, but I wouldn't say that they've done the greatest of all the jobs, and that's where we come in, to fill in the gaps, right? So just to help to make your environment safer and make you feel more comfortable. So, any more questions?
All right.
That floor that goes,
The hallway.
I've had 2 falls on there.
Here, say it into the mic. So they can-
Both times that I fell, I know I was going too fast. And I tripped. My toe hung, and I went over. But I talked to other people that have the same problem. It's people that work in that area. And they say, yeah, I have that problem all the time. I don't know what the answer is to that.
So she's talking about the hallway, the long hallway going down by Urban into Skilled. And that's what she's talking about, how it's like she's tripped going through there a few times. But she says she is going fast. I wanted her to speak into the mic so that all of the speakers can hear it, and it's recorded.
So what she's talking about is dragging your feet and making sure you're picking up your feet when you're walking through those halls. And you do, I think those hall, I agree, those hall, that one and the one in in front of therapy, those are very long halls, and both of them are, the floor's the same. So you do have to pay attention. There's been times that even I have, stubbed my toe, didn't pick my foot up all the way, and had to catch myself on those floors. So those floors in particular are going to be a little different than your carpet. So on carpet, sometimes you can drag your feet a little more, but we need to be picking up our feet as we go through there and slowing down. If we know that could be a problem, that's a little more risky, then we automatically want to slow down a little bit and make sure we're concentrating on picking up our feet.
People start to avoid me because I start to talk about how much I got out of class. I was actually trying to figure out how not to fall, because one year I fell and broke my wrist, and next year I fell and broke my arm, and that was unhandy. And so the therapy class, I've had actually 2 on how not to fall, And what I found out was that I was hunching over. I was walking. I think maybe I thought I'd get there faster if I leaned forward. But if I stand as straight as I can, and then do a little, remember to pick my feet up. I haven't fallen since then. That's been about 2 or 3 years.
Very good.
And I'm very grateful for that, because I only have 2 wrists.
That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But that thing about standing up straight, I don't know what it is, but the older I got, the more I wanted to maybe get there in a hurry by But I have to keep reminding myself, shoulders back, but it works.
Yeah, very good. Very good. That's awesome. And she's right. That goes along with what I was saying about when our body's having to work overtime and using up a lot of energy. When you do start that forward posture, that's another, your body is working overtime because you're using muscles that you wouldn't typically use, or not using muscles that you should be using to stand up nice and tall. So it causes your body to have to exert a little more energy to get you where you're going. But a lot of times you also see people doing that, just like she said, she thought she's going to get there faster. Well, people will lean forward because they're forward and their feet moving don't match. Like they're trying to make their feet go faster by leaning forward, and that is not a good idea. That's a fall waiting to happen. Anybody else?
Thank you.
You mentioned those shower benches that are built into our showers. They are in a ridiculous place because they're like 6 feet away. And I never ask anybody because I don't think of it when I'm around someone to ask. But I never felt they were safe to sit on. Were they designed to sit on? Really? They just seem like a little piece of plywood stuck in the corner. There's no leg support. Yeah, that's what it does.
They were definitely not designed by a therapist.
But I would never dream of sitting on it.
Yeah, so, and that's one of the things is some people just don't feel good, they don't feel comfortable sitting on that because they don't feel stable because there's nothing up underneath you. So that's why I said if you feel like you need a little more support in the shower, you want help on trying to figure out exactly what chair or what devices to put in there, we can always help you. Even, we may not even have to do, I wouldn't even say, depending on what the needs are, we may not even need to do a full evaluation. We could just give you some advice on picking out the right one. Yeah.
You had a fight with them to get safety bars.
But we would need to come out and look at yours, because one thing that we've learned going in and out of different homes here is most of the bathrooms are different. None of them are really the same. So one shower might have a certain setup, but the next one might not. The other thing that we know about the bathrooms here is that most of them don't have grab bars. So you have to ask to have grab bars.
You have to ask an elderly facility to have grab bars. That was my battle.
Well, some people.
It's stupid.
You're right. Yeah, so, and we can be helpful in that way too. A lot of people will say, well, I want grab bars, but I'm not sure where to put them. And maybe that's why they didn't originally put them in there, because they weren't sure.
You guys need to visit with Alan and Tim and say we recommend grab bars in every bathroom.
Yes. Yes, it is. And that's typically good. That's a good idea. And we have helped with that. We have been in homes where they're like, what's the best place for me to put it? And we will tell them, and they've been good about adding them. So if that's a concern of yours, we can definitely look at that.
The problem is, when they put those showers in, they didn't put the wood all the way up. So you can't even connect them until they take that wall off and put more wood in. And they don't want to do that. It's costly. But they started these showers, and there's no vacuum.
It's a good point.
Another dumb thing.
We asked for a grab bar, and we filled out the work order for it, and it was in our house inside of 3 days, including a consultation about which direction we wanted it and which wall we wanted it on. So that used to have been a problem, but or maybe they just like Tim better, which is probably true, but we didn't have any trouble at all.
Well, they know when you put in a work order, they better come and see.
There's also a thing that we did in the shower. I like to stand up when I take a shower. That may change. There are these little plastic strips that you can get online, and we got a couple of packages of those, and I have strips on the floor in 3 different places. I have strips on the wall in case you tip over that way. And there are strips on the little step that you take when you step out. And let me tell you, they are very reassuring.
They definitely are. I agree with that.
And they're cheap.
Yeah.
All right, you can get them on Amazon, and you can get them in different colors. So if you don't want, you can get them in clear. So if you don't want something like black that's so visible, you can get them in clear, and you can put them down there so nobody really has to know, which I don't know that many people are going in your bathrooms anyway, but if they are, nobody really has to see them because you can get them in clear, and it's just like a non-slip surface. So it gives you a little extra traction when you're in and out of the shower.
And it's cleaner, so it's not holding moisture like a
rug or a mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not rugs and mats. You don't want those. That's a trip hazard.
Yes.
What about rugs and mats in the kitchen? Are the ones that say they're non-slick, are they really non-slick? Because we've gone back and forth about that.
I would not recommend in this population rugs anywhere. I know a lot of you hold rugs dear to your heart, and you've got a big rug in the living room or under the table. It's just not a good idea, especially if you use an assistive device, because that always there's room for error there for something to catch that rug and it roll up under your feet. We have had people here that say, I just love my rug, I'm not getting rid of it. And that's up to you guys. Our job is to educate and let you know what we think about it and that we feel like it's a risk. But there are also, there are things that you can get to put on the bottom side that will keep it from sliding or keep it, supposed to be down where it won't roll up. So I don't particularly trust that, especially if you're using a walker, because I think a walker could really just yank it up, quite frankly, but that's just my opinion.
I call them sticky socks. Everybody needs to wear, I put sticky socks as soon as I get my shoes off when I get home, especially on the kitchen floors, which tend to be a little slippery, or the bathroom floors. Get yourself some sticky socks.
Does everybody know what he means? Does everybody know what he means when he says sticky socks? Socks with the little grips on them. Those are great. Well, you can get now. Everybody calls them the yellow hospital socks. But now you can get them at Walmart that look like normal socks.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so many versions
They
of
look
them
like
now.
normal socks.
And you can get them, I think it's a yoga class that they wear. There's a class that they use them in, that they wear them. So they look a little more fancy, but they're basically the same thing. They have the non-slid on the bottom. And Mr. Tim even got him some shower ones. So he has them for the shower too. So that's also something that's available
And I'll say,
when you're worried
they
about
discovered
shower.
the shower socks before we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they educated us on the shower socks, and I went to town a few weeks ago, and I saw them in a store. So they are becoming more of a thing as well. I was at TJ Maxx. That's my favorite store, and that's where they had them.
Well, that's awesome.
TJ Maxx. I was in the Outer Banks at the time. But I was in the Outer Banks at the time. Mm-hmm.
But that's a good, if TJ Maxx is getting them, you know they're coming to other stores.
That's right.
That
That's right.
you're going to be able to find them in other places. So.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. 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 So.
But if you sit down, that wouldn't be such a chore. You sit down, take them off, wash your feet, put them back on before you stand up. It's a little extra energy, but
Yeah, those shower
keeps you
strips
safe.
that he was talking about, they're really helpful. My grandma, she's 80. Let's see, she was 82 at the time when she fell and she broke her hip, but she still lives by herself. And she was insistent on doing things her way and how she's always done them, as we all know we like to do. And I got her some of those shower strips. I put them down in her shower, and now she's doing great. And, you know, she loves them, and I've put them in a few showers, even in assisted living. I've put them in some people's showers in independent living, and I've had no complaints. No, great. So, and like you said, you know, you can get as many as you want. You can cover the whole shower floor with them if you want to. So, yeah.
Look at there.
So she said a pack of 3 grippy socks for $8 at Walmart.
The ones that cost a little bit more. You know the ones that cost a little bit more, but you can get them in all kinds of colors.
Mm-hmm. All colors.
There you go.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Thank you guys for coming. You get lots of great interaction and good questions and thoughts. Very good.
Thank you for coming.